Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brozek and you are watching McRaeathon presents A Blast from the Past 2000 in support, as ever, of Get Well Gamers UK. Reminder to people that we still have that incentive open to pick the color of the machine in F-Zero AX, the very next run, so do act now if you want to make that known, as that incentive will be closing at the beginning of that run. But in the meantime, we have something very exciting for you. We have, of course, Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast by Viper. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much. Yes, hello. So this is Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, released in 2006. Most of the game takes place with the Outrun 2 and the Outrun 2 SP cabinets combined into one, essentially. And in the Coast to Coast mode, you're able to do different races. So you can see here that there are different races that you can complete alongside beating. You can end up doing races that will impress these three girls here too. So we're going to be doing all of the Flagman 1 races. So I'm going to jump into the first one here. So there's 3 races here, 2 there, a drift race, and another 2 there, and a final one here. So time is going to be when I get into my car, so I can pick any of the cars I wish to do so. Notice how these are the Outrun ones. And I'm going to go with the 512, the BB. I can pick whatever colour I want. So red and white is traditional, but I'm going to go with a funky red and yellow, because why not? Anyway, so time is going to begin once I select the soundtrack. So yeah, I'm going to get going. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so most of this is a case of just doing point-to-point races. We are allowed to use whatever car we wish to do so. Fun fact, this category isn't actually on the leaderboard, so this is kind of a makeshift category. Now, first thing I want to kind of point out, so we're playing with manual gears, and there's no particular reason, it's just personal preference. Immediately at the start, we're going to go to the left here, so we can get ahead of all the AI dead easy. And because we've got the Outrun car, it means that what's going to happen is that we're going to have the fastest car available to us straight from the get-go. These races are a lot shorter than what you are used to. The Outrun 2006 mode, the Coast to Coast mode that we are doing these in, you're actually able to do a bit of a mix. So the tracks will be a mix of the SP and the regular Outrun 2 tracks, which is quite a nice way of mixing everything up, I think. So like that was the start of Outrun 2 SP. And we're now going to go to Palm Beach, which you may recognise as the start of Outrun 2. I do quite like that one of the things about Outrun is that you can do this whole, like, you can easily have everything set to your liking. So, like, the game, like, switches to nighttime if you're immediately going into a night stage, which is really good. So we should be able to win these with ease. That shouldn't be a problem. One main thing you may notice is that I'm not using the typical controller. I'm actually using a wheel for this. Because believe it or not, you can use keyboard, you can use a controller, but for me, I've found a bit of a niche with my Outrun 2 game. So yeah, for some reason I just went with it and was just like, let's go. Also, that is our first race done and dusted. Now, the thing is that the game will say Outrun Miles, and what we're going to do here is I'm immediately going to go to the next one here. And yeah, so it should be nice and easy. So yes, I do actually have a controller, so I have a, it's a Mad Catz MC2 steering wheel. It's meant for the 360. Funnily enough, speaking of 360, so this game released on the PS2, the PSP, and the original Xbox. I don't believe there's any other releases. However, there was one release in particular. Now, this does get spoken about. It's quite commonly known, but in case you didn't know. So this game was actually a launch title for the Xbox 360. However, it was printed, so it was on disc, and you were able to buy it on a disc. However, if you've still got a copy of that original Xbox 360 game on disc, you have got one of the most expensive games on sale for the 360. This is even before the whole, like, Xbox Marketplace thing shut down. Yeah, there you go. It's I think it goes for quite a hefty amount of money. I don't know how much exactly, but yes, it does go for quite a big amount of money online. If you ever see, like, you go to a gaming market or a game shop and you see it for like a good price, and I mean like less than 40 or 50 bucks, do yourself a favor and snag it, because it's probably worth about 3 times that. Now, whether that's just the online game market, I don't know, but like genuinely speaking, I think that's absolutely balmy, like absolutely crazy. With the fact that the 360 version is the rarest of the bunch. And I always think that, like, I've seen the 360 version of this game, but honestly, no, I haven't. I've seen PS2 and the original Xbox versions, but I haven't seen the 360 version. Now, there was actually Outrun Online Arcade, which you could get for your 360, which was essentially an easy online mode that you could have. And it was really good. You know, you could play against friends and things like that. It was really, really good stuff. So we've got that, and we're on to the end of the first set once we've got this. I will just kind of mention a few things. So for these are mostly just racing from point A to point B, crossing over different environments. There is a drift race about halfway through, and the drift one is actually more about not how fast you can reach the... It's not how fast you can actually reach the finish line, but how many drift points you can pick up. So that is actually all about the drifting. So any drifters, Initial D lovers, Ridge Racer lovers, you may like that particular one. Also, I'm not doing very well on this reason, but anyway. There are a few other ones as well. There are like some checkpoint races and duels and things like that that you can do later down the line. There's a good mix for all the Flagman ones, which is really, really cool. So you can see here, like, for example, this track was not in Outrun 2 original. This was in Outrun 2 SP. Bit like, so, funnily enough, a game that I've also done run of that's not racing, it's entirely different. The House of Dead 4 had a SP cabinet, and the SP was essentially like a special play. I don't know if that's what the SP actually stands for, but essentially this is what Outrun 2 got. Now, unlike the House of Dead 4 SP, I believe that the Outrun 2 SP machines weren't limited to Japan only, and you could actually access them outside of Japan, which is obviously really, really good for us international players. Like I said, this was published in 2006, and this essentially gave you the best of both worlds, which I think is really good. I do quite like that dynamic, to be honest. So I'm going to take a few of them out, and I'm also going to drop down a gear here and use my brakes a little bit. Yeah, surprisingly, I actually used my brakes. Wow. But it helps us make the corner better, and we absolutely blitz the AI. So that's the first set of races that we've done. We're now going to move out of this, and the game will ask us, like, what do you want to do? We say we want to quit. We go to the next area and start that. But if there's anything you want to say, ProSec, whilst I'm going through menus and loading in, then feel free to go right ahead.
I absolutely can do so, yes. We have here £8 from Ugyu. Thank you very much. And they say, I like green and I like pink just as much. So I absolutely want to see this for F-Zero. And that, of course, has gone towards the F-Zero AX Pick the Machine Color Green and Pink option. Let me just update that and see where things are set. Show me all the options. Yes, indeed, Green and Pink has taken the lead. At £36, taking over from Gold and Purple by just £1. Oh, it's everything to play for, yes. Do be sure that if you want to see a lead change there, if you want to fight for one side or the other, or hey, even the third option, there are a few, then do be sure to do so. Alright, Viper, I'd give it back to you.
Well, thank you very much. So one of the main things that I will mention, so this is something that's quite key, I think, with Outrun 2006, is the fact that I think this was a thing in Outrun 2, though. I could be wrong, but the fact that you have like the Outrun 2 soundtrack, but then you also have the classic Outrun soundtrack from the 1980s as like an unlockable thing here, is really, really good. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. To be honest, like, one of the things was that, so in this game you have a license that you pick up, and you've got to do everything at AAA and everything in Outrun mode. But also, like, as it is, you can, you know, if you wish to do so, you can be like, oh, okay, I'll do the missions. There's also the time attack mode. There's a hearts mode as well, where you can impress the girls and things. And like you said, you're able to unlock this Outrun class. So the Outrun class are much faster. So one of the main things to kind of mention as well. So there is two different car classes. There is the regular car class and there is the Outrun class. Like I said, the Outrun class is much more faster than the regular cars. You can tell that they're a bit more spruced up. And if I probably haven't mentioned it already, I think that the graphics for this game look great for the time. This is the PC version I'm playing, if I've not mentioned that already. But honestly, like, in terms of what they were able to get out of the game for 2006 standards, I think this is pretty good. In fact, it's very good. There is a Outrun 2 patch that you can get for 2006. I can't remember what it's called exactly. But what you're able to do is you're able to get the game to run, I think it's like extremely high quality, fixes any like game-breaking bugs or crashes and things like that. And yeah, it's pretty good. Would highly recommend getting it if you're ever playing this game. So yeah, there's going to be a lot to this, to be honest. Like I said, most of it is just a case of from A to B. So there's three races in the first set. We've got this second race in the second set. Once we're done with this, that's that second batch done. Then we've got a drift race, that's the third batch done. And obviously we have the other two batches. So you may notice as well that what's going on now is that even though we're still just, you know, racing the AI, you may notice now that the track is not just 2 segments, it is now much longer at 4 segments. The final race is the longest one by far because it is like a traditional Outrun race where it lasts about 5 minutes or so. And honestly, the 5 or 6 stage thing that you do at the finale is really nice. It does remind me very much of the times of playing this in Outrun, with Outrun 2. The one thing I will kind of mention is just kind of a throwback as well to a few guys that may have been around at the time, but about 2 years ago, I think it was at ESA Summer 2023, we ran a Outrun 2 tournament, and I got a bunch of guys, they signed up for it. It was literally a case of, I didn't know that Outrun 2 was there, but we decided like pretty early on, because we saw a fair few people were going on it, and it was like, oh, well, why don't we run like a mini tournament out of this? So I was like, you know what, sod it, yeah, why not? I ran this mini tournament and a bunch of guys signed up, like BFTP was on, Kyle, I think it is, I think maybe Riggy and a load of other guys all signed up for it. And honestly, it was so much fun. And it was great because it really like brought us all together for this small little tournament. It was great. It really was like a load of fun. Honestly, if I could do that again, I would absolutely love to do it again. But yeah, it's been a while since I've really like played Outrun fully. But like one of the main things as well is, apart from the online arcade thing that you can play, it hasn't really been an Outrun game since Outrun 2 theoretically. We've never seen like a full Outrun game. So we've got like Outrun 2 was the last one. I don't think Sega will ever make an Outrun 3. I don't think they feel like there is any need to. Kind of similar with like Sega Rally as well. But honestly, it would be amazing if they was able to do it. I'll just say that much. Like, genuinely, it would be amazing if they brought out an Outrun now. Wouldn't happen, but you know, it'd be nice. Wishful thinking. I know that we have a few like indie developers who are making like Outrun clones or Outrun style games, which is great because it shows that the fan base and that the love for the series is still there. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that there isn't, you know, that there isn't a full-on Outrun 3 or another Outrun game. Because the thing is, I think even if it was like a remaster of the first 3, realistically speaking, you know, people would still take that as a sign of something good. So that's the main thing. Also, this is the drift challenge I was on about. You race 1-on-1 against your rival. And the idea now is that what we need to do is we need to drift like this, but we also need to keep ahead of them. So if I so desired, I can easily like get ahead on score by just outperforming them. The thing is, if they win, then yeah, it's kind of game over for us. I have to make sure that I'm not going too slow or too fast. So we're going to be drifting a lot here. And this is the only time where going slow and drifting more actually wins you stuff. But yeah, so whilst this is going on, ProSec, have we got anything we'd like to mention?
I do indeed, yes. I've got another donation here from Nordic. Thank you very much, and that is to the tune of £12.56. And of course they say, this one's just for you, ProSec. Okay. Green and pink. Green in pink. House in green. Cow in blue. Cow in house. Also, sequential numbers. Thank you very much, Nordic.
I was going to say, the amount of drifting we're doing here is ridiculous. Whoops. There we go. There we go. I need to make sure that I've got enough score here when I cross the line. So if I can do this fast enough, I should... There we go, yeah. I was going to say, I should be able to do it. There we go. So with that gets rid of the drift race. So that's like the main thing that's like, wait, I need to really like slow things down here a little bit, so it's not too bad. So next one. There we go. Okay, so we've got another 2 races to go. Just about won that one, to be honest. Also, thanks for letting me know, play. I wasn't sure why the score wasn't going up, but it makes complete sense. If you go off track, you end up losing the score. That does make sense. Also, so this is more races in a short amount of time. But now we've been up to... Oh, there's 2 segments. But now there is 2 segments and 12 cars to get past. This should be very interesting now. See if we're able to get past these Ferraris. Getting past one set of Ferraris is one thing, but getting past another is something else entirely. The other thing to kind of mention as well, we was talking about, like, with the Gran Turismo yesterday, about how, well, Vento was mentioning, how, you know, Ferrari made its debut, and Lamborghini made its debut in Gran Turismo PSP. Well, realistically speaking, the whole reason why that was a thing was mainly because of one thing, and it was because Sega had locked down Ferrari for a certain amount of time. That was why there was no Ferraris in like Need for Speed games and things. The thing is that when you've got a car license, it's fine, you're able to buy the car license. But sometimes, just sometimes, like the case of Porsche, you have a license for one game and no one else can use it. It was apparently the reason why Porsche couldn't be used in anybody else's game, like not even Gran Turismo, because Need for Speed owned the Porsche license. That was how they got away with the whole, like, RUF, RUF, or whatever it is, you know, the Porsche tuning company, to make things a lot easier for themselves. So, yeah, the more you know. Now, whether a case it was the same with Ferrari, or Ferrari was just that stingy, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Ferrari was that bloody stingy with its license. That's why no other company could use it, or no other game developer could use it. But I don't know. I generally don't know the reason why, but it does beg the question, doesn't it? It does make you think a little bit. Because you just don't know. You just don't know. Anyway, we've got another race to do, and then we've got one last race. The one last race is the 5 or 6 segment one. So we've got 2 here. Obviously, we've got plenty of cars to get through. This one is a bit more tricky to do because of the fact of there are more cars. So doing this will be a bit more difficult. At least we've got some great music on. So luckily my 4th gear tactics seem to work quite well. Unfortunately the car does seem to be a case of... Slipstream is ridiculous on this, I will just say that much. like getting the slipstream behind another car, especially like that when you go right up behind it, is just insane. You get caught up behind one of the cars, it's ridiculous because you're just like, oh my god, how the hell do I get past this? So we're going to try and hopefully catch these guys up. We should be able to easily do it. Also, apparently this is how slipstream works. I find it interesting how it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so I've just got to catch the cars up. It's like, yeah, okay, so all of a sudden now you're doing 320 kph. Like, you know, as you do. It's just ridiculous. I do quite, like, as I said before, I do like the fact, like, the mountains and stuff just show up in like, record time. It reminds me of, like, certain films where, like, you know, someone will time travel or something. And they'll start going somewhere and all of a sudden the whole landscape builds around them. Like, in a film it seems ridiculous, but in a game it's like, yeah, that's just kind of normal. It is very, very funny. I see Player and Duck as well. Got some knowledge. They're able to fill in the blanks and put me right if I am wrong. That's completely fine. I don't mind being wrong, to be honest. And we easily win that. Easy. Nice and easy. So the funny thing is, it's like it presumes that you're not very good at this. If you don't end up winning that race, it's like, okay, you're not very good. There you go. Also, the last one. So this is the final race. It's going to be quite a long one, about 5 or 6 minutes. Just to mention to tech that time will be when I cross the line at the end of this race. You've got about 5 or so minutes, so don't worry, but yeah. We've got to take on 12 rivals, and we're going to go through a range of different races here. Oh, Christ. I honestly have to admit, I do quite like the fact of how he's mentioned that. How Nordic's mentioned that the ketchup and mustard paint scheme. I can't unsee that, to be honest. Funnily enough, when I was younger, and this is kind of an interesting one, but when I was younger, I remember I used to have a Porsche. It was a 944 race car. Yeah, it was a 944 race car. And the colours were red and yellow, and I used to be obsessed with it. It was a real car, real paint scheme. I'm fairly certain it was an American race car. It was used in the States. I could be wrong, but I think it was used in the States more than any other racing series. But it was quite popular in the 1990s. I think it was like early 90s. But yeah. Oops. Also, you got the music going in the background from the original Outrun. Fairly certain this is not the original. This is from the original. This isn't like a remake or anything. So make sure you do that corner. Tricky. Now, unsurprisingly, the track does get more tricky as you go. The tracks will become a bit more like ooh. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay, so 2 checkpoints down, 3 to go. Yeah, we should be easy enough. I don't even look at the timer, to be honest. Because the timer, you just, I mean, who needs times? Who needs timers? We don't need timers. I do know that catching a car in this tunnel is a bit of a pain because the car will definitely slow you down if you catch a car. Go. There we go. Do Lost City next. So we're nearly there. Almost there. So we've got 2 checkpoints to go. Ooh. Oh, hit the bus. Then it ends up hitting the wall. Of course I do. Also the fog, my god. Probably gives Silent Hill a run for its money, the amount of fog there is in here. Right, so this will be fun. So I've got to get through this set of corners, hopefully without anything happening. That's all good. Oh boy. Okay, let's hopefully get through this corner. Oh crikey, okay, hello. There is multiple corners. Ooh. Okay, good. One more set of stuff to go. Go to the giant statues. Why not? I think this is actually part of the hardest course, but I could be wrong. Is the one I'm thinking of. It's not. It's not the one I'm thinking of. Different one, this. Yeah, time is coming up for tech when I end up crossing the line for this, so just be ready on time. End up short shifting to third gear by accident. Yep. Christ, this might not work. We'll find out. And time. Phew. Nice.
Congratulations.
I don't know what the time was, but yeah, there you go. And that is it for Outrun 2006. That's the Flagman 1 races. Now we're going to go to Flagman 2. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so you've got, like I said, you've got a load of different races here. They're not that much different from one another because they are just general races. But you can see here, Flagman 2, there is keeping up ahead of things and don't losing your girlfriend. Race rivals, test slipstreams, you get points for slipstreaming. Do laps and avoid a knockout. And then, what else? Drift races. Avoid knockout, yeah. A lot of it's kind of same. You can see here there's a lot of races here. And Flagman 4 is even more chaos. I mean, look at this. It's friggin' nuts, the amount that there is. I mean, that's a lot, but yeah, there's a lot more to it between them. They're obviously more difficult as well. Flagman 4 being the Outrun races, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm going to hand it back over to ProSec, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that run. Quite chill and very nice. Cheers.
Before you do throw it to me, though, of course, if people want to find you, they can find you here, of course, but where else?
If you're looking for me in particular, I'm over at Viper Races over on Twitch. I do racing game stream runs primarily because it's my hobby and my niche. But I do other stuff as well. Racing is like more or less the gist of it, but I do other stuff. So yeah, if you want to tune in, at the moment not stream too much, but if you want to catch me, I'm over at Viper Races. Same on Blue Sky at ViperUK.
Sounds good. All right, folks, we will be back along in just a few short moments with F-Zero-AX. And of course, that does mean we will be coming to the end of that bid war. Currently, let me read this off for you. Green and pink is in the lead for the machine's color at £36, followed closely behind by gold and purple, 35. Red and gold is trailing a little at £25, and then poor old blue and green, honestly, down at £5. It really needs some support. So if you want to be that hero, or if you want to put even as little as £1 and 1 penny just to change the order at the top, then please do that as quick as you can, because it's almost upon us. We'll be back here in just a few short moments with F-Zero-AX.